Hi there guys, in this video I'm going to show you all the features of OnePlus Nord 4. Before we get started, please hit the like button or dislike button and comment below this video as well. It helps with the engagement and other people will see our video as well. And do subscribe if you haven't already. Now with that said, the most highlighting feature about this phone are definitely its software updates. Unlike any other phone in its price segment, this phone actually comes with 4 years of Android updates and 6 years of security updates. Right now it's running Android 14, so you'll be getting anywhere up to Android 18, so that's definitely super cool. Next best thing about this phone is definitely its performance. This phone sports a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3 processor with Adreno 732 GPU with LPDDR5X RAM and up to UFS 4.0 storage. Once again, this is definitely one of the best phones in its price segment, even in terms of performance. Well, OnePlus had to sacrifice in terms of bloatware to bring down the price. Anyway, still, you get the best performance at this price. Next, this phone also has pretty good cameras. On the rear, it comes with a dual camera setup with a 50 megapixel primary camera with Sony Litia 600 sensor and an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with Sony IMX355 sensor. For selfies, you get a 16 megapixel camera with Sony IMX471 sensor. These are some sample shots. Next, this one also comes with a pretty massive battery and with super fast charging speeds. It comes with a 5500 mAh battery, which is once again slightly bigger than other phones in this segment, and also comes with a 100-watt SuperVOOC charger inside the box. You can charge your phone completely from 0 to 100% in about 31 minutes. Next, this one also has a pretty impressive display. It has a 6.74-inch AMOLED display with 1.5K screen resolution. It has HDR10+ support with 2150 nits of peak brightness. Next, this one also comes with dual stereo speakers and they sound incredible. Here's a quick audio preview. By the way, we don't have anything like Dolby Atmos or Dolby Audio, but we do have something called O-Reality Audio, which is from Oppo. Next, this phone also comes with an in-display fingerprint scanner and that works really well. Here's a quick preview. It almost instantaneously unlocks your phone. Next, this one comes with a super cool feature called Beacon Link. Now this feature works even without any cellular network. Like if there is any natural disaster, earthquakes and there's no cellular reception, you can still use this feature to call with people around you using the Bluetooth on your phone. This is a new feature and a super useful feature in emergency situations. Next, we have torch. Yes, almost all phones have torch, but on this phone, you can change the intensity of the torch like this. There are very few phones that actually allow you to do this, like I guess Samsung, Apple, and I guess that's it. Next, we can also change the screen resolution on this phone. As I've said, this phone comes with a 1.5K resolution display, but funnily enough, by default it is set to 1080p resolution. If you want a much crisper screen, you can change it from here. Next, we have Enlarge Folder. Now, if you are someone who has everything organized on your home screen and you have folders with multiple applications, then you can use this feature and enlarge those folders and have some quick access to at least some of those applications. You can enlarge any folder, and if you don't like this feature anymore, you can also shrink any of those folders. I know it's not a super cool feature, but it definitely saves you a lot of space on your home screen. Next, we have Smart Rapid Charging. Now, this feature sounds super awesome, but I'm really confused like how does it even work? Like according to what the company says, if you're using the stock fast charger provided by OnePlus, it can charge your phone faster depending upon the situation. I don't know how it knows if you're in an urgent situation, but it'll use AI, and if you're in an urgent situation, it'll charge your phone faster at a cost of making your phone slightly warmer. So do give this feature a try and let me know if it really works. Next, we have RAM expansion. Using this feature, you can convert your internal storage into RAM. This can definitely help you with multitasking, and I would definitely recommend you to use it if you're having the 256GB variant. Next, we have Show Search on home screen. Now this is not your regular search, this is like the global search on your phone, and once you enable this feature, you can see a quick shortcut for the search directly on the home screen. Just tap on it and you can literally search for anything and everything on your phone directly from here. No matter what you search for, it'll search through contacts, messages, files and everything, and it'll give you the results. Next we have screen record. Well, almost every other phone has screen recording, but on this phone, we also have privacy protection. Once you enable it, while doing a screen recording, all your notifications, quick settings and status bar app icons will be hidden. It's not a super useful feature, but it's very convenient. Next we have app specific volume. Once you enable this feature, you can set a specific volume to different applications. Normally, I set volume for games to 0 so that I can listen to some podcasts or music while playing games. So this is a feature that you should definitely try. Next we have hollow audio. Now this is more like a beta testing or some random idea from Oppo or even OnePlus, which uses spatial audio to generate audio from different places. Like you can choose to have a ringtone sound that comes from forward, alarm sounds that come from your back. You can basically configure the positioning of these sounds. You can customize all this from here. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'll be using this feature or not. Next we have Haptics. By the way, I forgot to mention this phone also comes with a pretty good haptic engine and you can feel that haptics everywhere. Like you can increase or decrease the screen brightness or volumes and you can notice that subtle haptics on the background. And from this Haptics page, you can notice all the vibrations and you can also change the haptic intensity from here. You can also play the small video at the top to get a preview to experience all kinds of haptic vibrations on your phone. Next we have Smart Sidebar. Now this particular feature is enabled by default and just in case if it isn't, you can enable it from here. Now once this feature is enabled, you can swipe from the edge to access the Smart Sidebar. Over here you have some quick shortcuts. You can click on any of these applications to open them in a floating window. Besides that, you also got new features like File Dock and Recent Files. File Dock is really useful. Once you enable this, you can drag and drop text or images into it and just drag them from here to paste them anywhere you want. This makes it super easy to share things. In recent files, you can see all your recent files directly from your sidebar. Once again, it can help you save a lot of time. The best thing is obviously to open applications in floating windows. By the way, you can also customize this sidebar. You can add your own favorite applications to this list and also move the position of this sidebar. Next, we have air gestures. Once you enable this feature, you can answer calls or mute calls using gestures. To answer a call, you can just do a flicking gesture on the front of the phone to answer the call. To mute calls, just hold your palm in front of the screen and it will mute the call. It definitely looks super fancy, but they're not very accurate. Next we have stickers in album. Once you open the Stocks Photos application, you can just tap and hold on any of the photo to convert that photo and the photo will be cut out. You can save it as a sticker or as a photo or just directly save it to your file dock and then use it later. This is definitely going to be a very popular feature on this phone. Next we have AI Eraser. In Photos app, you can select any photo and go to edit screen and then you see the AI Eraser option. Once you select that, you get multiple options. First is a Smart Lasso. Using Smart Lasso, you can select any of the object on the photo and remove it using AI. Next we have Paint Over. Just select Paint Over and draw on any of the object and AI will automatically replace the object with something else. Finally we have Remove People. Once you select this option, AI will automatically highlight the people in the photo so you can use their cutouts to save as a copy or remove them from the picture. Once again, this is going to be a very useful feature to many people. Next we have AI Speak. When you're on a web page or specifically when you're using Google Chrome, you can open the sidebar and you get the AI Speak option. Just click on it and your phone will start reading out the entire article. This feature definitely works, but in my testing it only worked with Google Chrome. If you're using other browsers, AI Speak won't even show up, and just so you know, we can already do a similar thing on any Android phone. Like just trigger Google Assistant and say read aloud and it'll read the entire page. And it also works on other browsers as well. Next we have AI Summary. Now this is just like AI Speak. Just open any article and then open the sidebar, click on AI Summary and it will give you a quick summary of the web page. Once again, works with only Google Chrome, at least as of now. Next we have AI Writer. Now this is another super fancy AI feature. Just go to Gmail and go to Compose section and open the sidebar. There you find the option AI Writer. Just click on it, write something and you can set the tone and click on Generate to create an AI generated response. Once again, looks super cool but really not that useful. Next we have Relax. Now this is for people who specifically go to YouTube and play some relaxing sounds. Well, you don't need to do all that. Just open this Relax app on your phone and you have multiple options. You can directly start listening to some relaxing tunes, or else you can go to menu. You can select unwind to play relaxing and stress relief games. You also have a deep breathing feature with a background music, so it's also pretty useful for people who are getting started with meditation. Now with all that said, I'm not sure if this is a bloatware or an inbuilt application. At least as of now, I didn't notice any advertisements. Next, we also have some new navigation gestures. But before that, we have the regular navigation bar with the back, home and recent buttons. Now back to the new gestures. Once you enable them, you can swipe from the bottom of the screen to go home, swipe and hold for recent tabs, and you can swipe from the left side or right side to go back a step, and you can quickly switch between the current application and the previous applications by swiping left or right on the bottom of the screen. We can also trigger Google Assistant by swiping diagonally from the bottom left or bottom right corner. Next, we have a brand new gesture which allows us to quickly switch between applications. You can enable it from the system navigation settings. Just enable the toggle, switch to previous app, and now you can just swipe and hold from the left or right edge of the screen to quickly switch between the current application and previous application. Actually, very few phones offer this particular feature and I personally really like it. So guys, definitely try this feature. Next, we have split screen mode gesture. Now on this phone, we have a 3-finger screen gesture to open split screen mode. You just need to swipe up using 3 fingers and it opens the current application in the split screen mode. Then you can select the secondary application from the list below. By the way, if this feature doesn't work, make sure to enable it from the settings, and once you're done, then you can just swipe up to open the split screen mode. Next, we have floating windows. Now this feature allows you to open applications in floating windows. To use this feature, you can go to the recent apps page, click on any one of the app icons, and then you have the option to open in a small pop-up window. Just click on it and the application will be opened in a floating window. You can double tap it to enlarge it. You can swipe the window towards the edge and it will hide inside the edge. You can just swipe from the edge to bring it out whenever you need it. If you have navigation gestures enabled, you can also open an application in a floating window by just doing a swipe up gesture and keep going till the top. And now the application will open up in a floating window. Next, we have assistive ball. Now once you enable this feature, you get an assistive ball on the screen, which is just a floating button kind of a thing, and you get to have 2 options. You have gesture options and you have tap menu. In tap menu, you can just tap on the ball to access different functions. In gesture options, you can double tap the ball or do a long tap on the ball to perform different actions. We can configure all that from settings. Next, we have gaming assistant. Now once you enable this feature, you can access the gaming assistant while you're playing games, and from here you can check your system status like the FPS of the game, CPU and GPU usages, and you can also perform some quick actions as well. Next, we have some pretty cool gestures. First, we have raise to wake. Now once you enable this feature, you can just raise your phone from a flat surface and the screen lights up. If you are using face unlock feature, your screen lights up and takes you to the lock screen. If you are using face unlock feature, your phone can automatically unlock the phone as well, which can be pretty handy. Next, we have smart rapid charging. Now once you enable this feature, every time you use the 100 watts power adapter with this phone, it will charge your phone with the maximum charging speed. It will make your phone slightly more warmer, but it can quickly charge your phone. If you disable this feature, your phone will automatically change the charging speeds to reduce the battery temperature, and it might take a bit more longer to charge your phone. Next, we have one-handed mode. Now once you have enabled this feature, you can just do a swipe down gesture on the bottom of the screen to pull down the screen to the bottom. Now the screen will minimize to a smaller window and you can access the complete screen at the lower half of the screen. If you want to exit, you can swipe up on the minimized window or just tap on an empty area at the top. This particular feature works only with the navigation gestures. Next, we have App Locker built into the phone. If you have any applications that hold sensitive information like net banking applications or payment-based apps like Paytm, Google Pay or PhonePe, you can lock all those applications using this feature. It's a nice feature but has very limited options. If you're an advanced user, I'll suggest you to use a third-party application. Next, we have Private Safe. Now this feature is more like an application or like a vault where you can hide all kinds of files. Just like the app lock, we can have a completely different password from your lock screen and we can unlock it using your fingerprint or your facial data. Personally, I suggest you to use Gallery Vault. Next we have App Cloner. Using this feature, we can create duplicate versions of a supported application. Basically, using this feature, you can use 2 Facebook accounts, 2 Instagram accounts, or 2 WhatsApp accounts on the same phone. It's a very good feature, but it's only supported for few applications. Next we have Power Menu. Now by default, whenever you press the power button, it'll trigger Google Assistant. But for some reason, if you want to use the power button to trigger Google Assistant and still want to access the power menu, this is what you need to do. Just press and hold the power button and the volume up button both at the same time and you get the power options. It's really not a feature, it's actually just a small tip. Next, we can also end calls using the power button. For it to work, you just need to enable this option, and whenever you are on a call, you can press the power button to end the call. This particular feature is particularly helpful for elderly people. Next, we can also schedule to power on and power off your phone. Now using this feature, you can just select the time and your phone will auto power on and power off. I would recommend you to daily restart your phone for the best user experience. So you can schedule your phone to power off, let's say at 2 in the morning, and power on at 2:01 or 2:10 AM in the morning. So your phone will restart automatically and you'll have the best user experience. Next, we have some screen off gestures. First one would be double tap to wake. Now once you enable this feature, as the name suggests, you can just double tap the screen to wake it up. If you're already using face unlock feature on this phone, you can just double tap the screen to wake it up, then your front camera will see your face and then it will immediately unlock the phone. Overall, it gives you a very immersive experience. Next, we have music controls. Now once you enable this feature, you can draw less than or greater than symbols when the screen is off to play the previous or next songs, and then draw 2 parallel lines to play or pause music. Next, we have the famous alert slider. Just like on all the previous OnePlus phones, even on this phone, we still get the alert slider. We have 3 modes: silent, vibration and ring. You can further configure each mode from settings. Using this alert slider, you can change to different modes without even looking at your phone. This is a very unique feature that's available only on the OnePlus phones. Next, we have flip to mute. Now once you enable this feature, you can just flip your phone to mute an incoming call. Next, we have some quick launch shortcuts for the fingerprint scanner. Once you enable this feature, in the lock screen, you can touch and hold the fingerprint scanner. Even after the phone unlocks, just keep holding it and you will see some quick shortcuts. Now you can swipe your finger left or right to switch between these applications and release the finger to open that particular application. You can also swipe down to close the application. Now from these settings, you can save your quick shortcuts. Next, we have reading mode. Now reading mode on this phone is pretty unique. Once you enable this feature, your phone will automatically adjust the screen color temperature and make the display much more comfortable to read. You can either turn it on manually or schedule it to automatically turn on for few specific applications, say like Amazon Kindle or Google's Playbooks. It can also block peak notifications or heads-up notifications, which can be quite annoying, especially while reading. Next, we have some launcher-based gestures. If you are using the stock launcher from OnePlus, you have some cool gestures and you can tweak them from the launcher settings. On your home screen, you can do a swipe down gesture to pull down the notification bar. You can double tap in an empty area to put the phone to sleep. And finally, you can do a swipe up gesture to open the app drawer. Next, we also have an infrared sensor on this device, which you can use to control other devices just like with any regular infrared remote. I usually use it to control AC and my old Panasonic TV. Next, we have Kid Space. If your kid is troubling you about your phone, he wants to play some games, or maybe sometimes he accidentally purchases stuff, Kid Space can be quite useful for you. Once you configure this Kid Space, your kid will be able to only use specific applications that you choose, and he will be able to use your phone only for a specific amount of time. Once again, it's a nice feature, but if your kid already knows your password, it's completely useless. Next, we have Simple Mode. Now, this mode is really useful for elderly people who aren't tech savvy. So once you enable this mode, text and icon sizes are enlarged. It's much more easier to see, and the overall user interface is also slightly enlarged and overemphasized to be handy for elders. So guys, these are all the best features. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video. If you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.